Hi, my name is Katherine Bersch, and during my time here at ICID, I'm devoting my work towards two separate projects. The first of which is the finalization of a book manuscript entitled When Democracies Deliver: Governance Reform in Latin America. And the subject of this work is really the attempts at governance reform that have been carried out in Latin America during the last 30 years or so. That is, reforms aimed at reducing corruption, increasing transparency, and strengthening institutions. And in the book, I draw on cognitive psychological insights about reform, or rather cognitive psychological insights about decision making, and propose a political theory of administrative reform that explains why certain strategies or reform approaches are successful, and also the political conditions that foster the choice of such successful strategies. And that project has a lot to do with global governance, in the sense that if we're going to think about what types of interventions or strategies work at an international organization level or in terms of transnational actors, we have to know about what types of interventions work in domestic agencies and ministries. And so my research draws on fieldwork in both Brazil and Argentina, and over 100 semi-structured interviews that I did in both the ministries of health and transport that trace reforms over time in these two countries. My second project is what I call the State Capacity Project. This is a collaborative project with Matthew Taylor and Sergio Prasa, in which we develop indicators of bureaucratic capacity and political autonomy within nation states, that is, at an agency level. So this work has been done in Brazil, and I'm in the process currently of expanding on this project with some folks at Stanford University's Governance Project. So in collaboration, in particular with Francis Fukuyama, we're developing a survey based on the US government's FedView survey, which can be applied in other contexts, such as Brazil and India. So I'm spearheading the effort to carry out the survey in Brazil in conjunction with the federal government. That project also has important implications for how we think about global governance. There's been very little research that's focused on the state and the ability of agencies and ministries to carry out the decisions of their of political leaders. This research on state capacity and on the governance project has very important implications for how we think about global governance, and in particular the tremendous variation that institutions of global governance encounter in nation states. That is, if we're to think about issues such as fighting the Zika virus or improving transportation infrastructure in, for instance, Latin America, knowing something about the agencies and ministries that are tasked with carrying out these tasks is very important for understanding the type of challenges that institutions of global governance will have.